So good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to talk about Percona monitoring management. So the talk will cover about how the Percona monitoring management was working, how we can use for protection troubleshooting, what is advisor, how we can do backup and restore using PMM. So I am working on Percona's managed service team. So earlier we used Nagios for alerting. After we introduced Alert Manager in PMM, we started using PMM for everything, including monitoring, alerting. So we are using PMM for monitoring and alerting everything. So this is about me. My name is Bhuvanes Waran, working as a MySQL DBA in Percona Managed Service team. Over 8 years of experience in MySQL and its related technologies like Orchestrator, Proxy SQL. I started my career in 2017 as a database engineer. Then 2021 I joined in Percona. I serve as a custodian of data health and security of our client, managing high performance MySQL cluster to ensure they are both resilient and secure. These are some of my blogs, the contribution to the Percona community and open source community. So what is PMM? Percona monitoring management. It's a free and open source observability platform. It is designed to monitor and manage and help database to optimize the performance, whether it is on cloud or on-prem or even it's hybrid. It's everywhere. It combines deep query analytics with real-time metrics. It gives a single pane of glass. It gives a we can easily see how our database is performing, whether it is on-prem or cloud or hybrid. It solves block problems of databases. With a specialized tool, Query Analytic QAN, we can see exactly which query causing slowness and application issues. Of course, it eliminates vendor lock-in. We don't need to pay for any licenses. It is not just as a monitoring tool; it's a management tool where we have advisor and backup. Advisor is a inbox expert in the box tool. It's scan our databases and recommends the best practices. What does PMM do? PMM it can monitoring, alerting, QAN, advisor, and backup. So monitoring is the continuous process of collecting, storing, and visualizing the data of our databases and its underlying hosts, and provide visibility of our data health and security. That monitoring tool, the monitoring is also it's collect the OS level details like CPU, memory, disk, traffic, everything. It tracks engine specific details like connections, uptime, however database, everything. Alerting is a automated tool. It notifies us when important events like a production restart, replication lags, like that. It's a QAN is a specialized tool. It analyzes how our queries are performing over the time, and it has n number of filters that allow us to filter exactly which query is causing slowness. Advisor is an expert in the box. It scans our databases and recommends best practices based on the group configurations, securities, and queries. And backup restore, backup is a tool to secure our data. Use of PMM. So where we can use a PMM, how we can use a PMM. Some of the examples are here, like performance issue. So when we have some performance issue in our database, we can use PMM for analysis, like whether it is a query issues or some system bottlenecks or something from the application side or connections issue. So we can use for the analysis. Capacity planning, when we have n number of months of data, we can compare the old graphs and we can plan for the capacity. So some festival occasions or some tournaments or some campaigns, we used to get 4x, 5x traffics. So that time we may expect a high number of traffic. So we can plan for that. It also monitor the high availability and replication monitoring. So we can, when we have a master replica topology, we can monitor the replications. When we have a PXE, we can use Percona monitoring management tool for that, flow controls, everything. This is how PMM works. So basically, it's a client server topology. DB on the DB server, PMM agent is running. On the PMM server, there will be some databases will be running. So DB on the DB server, agent keep collect the data and send it to the PMM server. PMM server act as a central brain, and it store the data and analyze the data and visualize the data. On the PMM server, there are 4 databases running. Those are Victoria Matrix, ClickHouse, Grafana, PostgreSQL. Victoria Matrix is a database that stores the time series performance graphs for that CPU, memory, traffic, disk, and database counters. ClickHouse is a high performance database that store the large amount of data for the query analytics. Grafana, which is a web interface where all the collected data turn into a dashboards. Postgres, it's used to store the metadata of internal components and configurations. On the DB server, PMM agent is a main process that communicate with the PMM server and managing life cycle of exporters. There will be 2 exporters, Node exporter and MySQL exporter. For MySQL, it is MySQL exporter. Some other for MongoDB and Postgres, there will be another exporters. So Node exporter may basically handles that system level matrices like CPU, memory, network, disk, those. MySQL exporter handles that collects informations about engine specific informations like InnoDB and connection, replication, lag, and others. QAN agent is keep monitoring the slow logs and performance schema and collect the queries. VM agent, it's a small process that keep pushing all the collected information to the PMM server. This is a default PMM dashboard. So it's a home page. So when we have many servers, we can have a servers group by MySQL, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, proxy SQL. Of course, it also monitors the proxy SQL and Valkey. So by default, it will show the resource of all the servers. Example, when you have a 4 MySQL server, the total RAM is displayed as for all the servers, not for the single server. You can we have a filters. You can select the which one you want to see exactly. In the left side, you can see the technologies like Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, operating system like that. So if you click on that server, it will expand. It will give more dashboards. So example how we can troubleshoot with the PMM. So example, I'm going to explain one scenario. So there was a replication lag on one of the cluster. The customer is in primary replica topology. They are using reader and writer VIP. They have one primary, one replica, one backup server. The production replica was lagging, so we need to identify what exactly causing the replication issues. When we look into the graph, we can see that the replication lag is occurring daily at the exactly same time, which is something replicating from the primary server. In case if we have a two replica server with the same configuration, if we have a same replication lag on both server, we can conclude that something replicating from the primary that causes the exact issue. But in this case, our backup server is already lagging due to the backups, and we can't exactly say that something replicating from the primary server that causing the replication lag. Then we went to the InnoDB related graphs. Then found that there were many spike on the graphs during that time. The InnoDB data IO represents reads and writes performed by the databases. While the InnoDB data IO focusing on the number of operations per second, InnoDB data bandwidth focusing on the size of those operations. InnoDB data bandwidth, the high InnoDB data bandwidth indicates that it's a huge amount of data being transferred from the server. It's typically write workload. InnoDB data IO tracks write ahead activity of transaction log. It stores all the changes of the rows, that is that before it hits to the data files. The InnoDB fsync command forces the data pages from OS caches to init disk. Overall, it's confirmed that there was some bulk activity that caused the replication lag. Then we went to the InnoDB row writes graph. Here you can see that row affected by number of rows affected by delete and insert update. Here I highlighted that only that rows deleted. So during that replication lag, you can see that it went to around 69K records deleted. So this identified that there was a bulk delete replicated from the primary that caused the issues. Then we went to the QAN and went to the exact particular time frame. Then found that delete query. It was deleted older some records based on the created column. This is explain plan for that delete query. So each query executed 58 seconds, 43% of its time waiting for the log. You can see that row examined, row affected is same. That means that query is using exactly the correct index. But even after using that exactly the correct index, the lag is happening since it is deleting the huge records. You can see that each execution it deleted 51K records. So overall the issue is bulk delete was executing from the primary that caused the issues. So we recommended them to use small batches to delete the records. So we can use PT archiver to delete for the delete operations that can break the records into small chunks and also monitor the replication lag and reduce disk and IO usages and avoid replication lag. We suggested some more configuration InnoDB use f data sync equal to on, which reduces unnecessary metadata sync, and it will increase the write performance without compromising the durability. InnoDB double write buff pages from 4 to 128. From the new version onwards, 128 is a default value. Since the customer is in older version 8.0, then we suggested this. This increase the number of pages written at once in double write buffer. It will increase the throughput and reduce the latency. Then alerting. The alerting is the system ability to detect unusual activity in database environment before the small events turn into the production outage. That alerting is watch as a watchman for 24/7. Instead of watch as entire time, it watches the PMM and notifies important events of production outages or resource usage, something like that. The core concept of the alerting is very simple. When something needs your attention, PMM may ensure that we know it immediately. It uses a smart trigger. It will not trigger every tiny event. It will keep watch the event, make sure it is real. The rule, which is what to watch, the threshold when to worry, the contact point to whom to inform. Of course, if it gives some options to silence the alert when needed. For example, when we are running the backup on the server, it will cause the unnecessary replication lag. It is expected, so we can silence the alerts during the time. Also, when we are planning server restart for some batching activity, we can silence the alerts. Also, it allows to schedule the silence allow on a particular time. The alerting is categorized as two default alerts and custom alerts. Default alerts are these are the default alerts come with PMM. If you want, we can create some custom alerts. So to receive the alert, we have to set contact points. We can use like a email, Slack or pager2team. To use email, we need to follow this blog. It has all the details. I'm telling some of them. So, to use email, we have to create an application. We have to generate an application password for that particular email. Then we have to add it in that Grafana ini.file. Then restart the service. In case if we are using Slack integration, we have to create a webhook URL. Then add it in the this panel. So these are the default alerts. So if you want to use this alert, just you can click on create alert tool. Then it will ask us for the name of the alert, then severity and everything. Just we can save and exit. It will add the alert. In case if you are creating a custom alert, some specific configuration, we can go to the alerting rules, new alert rule. There you can give the alert name, alert query. Then you can give the contact details. Then you can finally save this. Advisor is an automated insight and the recommendations. It provides the proactive warnings before the small misconfiguration turn into big production issues. It has a number of scripts that scans the database to see if the best practices being followed. It helps to uncover the problems before it becomes a larger issues. It's not only give the error code, it also give the explanation of the risk and how we can fix it. The advisor configured as 4 categories. First one is configuration advisor. Some of them I listed here. First one is version check. Suppose if you are in the 5.6, 5.7 version, it will recommend to upgrade the versions. Then generic configuration for the bin log. Bin log should be enabled for the point in time recovery, and redo log auto purge should be enabled. Otherwise, the redo log will be keep increasing and it will increase the disk usage. And the general log by default automatically disabled. In case if it is enabled, it will log all the events of the events from the connections. It will cause a high disk usage. In case if the error log verbosity is set to 2 or 1, it will suggest to set to 3. When we set to 3, it will log the warnings that will be used for the production troubleshooting. And in replication configuration, if the replica is read only disabled, it will enforce us to read only enable. And when replica parallel worker is less than 4, it will suggest to set the proper values. Sync bin log should be enabled to enforce the ASIC property. In case if the replica skip error have some values like 1032, 1062, that means the replica is skipping some errors such that can cause data inconsistency. So that should be checked and removed. Replica execution mode should be strict. If the value is idempotent, it will skip the errors without notifying us. So it should be strict. There are some more InnoDB configuration. Then security advisor. When the secure file privileges is on, it will allow us to run the select into out file query. So when the select into out file query running, it will create the CSV file where the MySQL has privileges. So when the file become very larger, it can cause the disk usage, and sometimes it can affect the server performance also. Transport, secure transport. For this requires secure transport should be on when we are using SSL. Password lifetime. Default password lifetime is 0. We can set some positive numbers. Anonymous user creation. Still, MySQL allows some anonymous user creations, so that should be reviewed and deleted. Users with host like open host. The users should be open host reviewed and added with a particular IPs or with a particular range. Root with remote login. So root user should not be allowed with root user should not be allowed with remote login. That is a security warning. Users with super privileges. User with the super privileges should be removed. Users with super privileges with developer example, some developer has super privileges. They can run the change master and they can run queries without logging into the bin logs. So those users should be reviewed and removed. Users without password. Overall users without password, those should be reviewed, and if not, those should be removed. Then replica without replication slave. So when the replica does not any user with replication slave channel, replication slave permissions, this will give a warning, because when the replica become primary, it will not allow other replica to under this replica. So there should be a users with replication slave. Query advisor. When we have a huge temp file creation in the server, it will recommend these settings to increase the temp table size. If there is any table without primary key, that will affect the server performance. So it will give a warning or error message that if there is any table without primary key. Table size larger than data size. there are some cases like table size is longer than the data size. So in those cases, we need to identify if there are any duplicate indexes or unused indexes. Those should be reviewed and removed. Then backup. So PMM gives the centralized dashboard for to manage and perform and track the backup. So the PMM user should be created with the backup admin privileges. Then we can easily to backup the data. It allows that cron schedule. We can schedule as per our requirement, like every 1 hour, every day night to 12 o'clock, like that we can schedule. There are available currently the available options are only physical backup and S3 upload, and the MySQL version should be exactly match with the XB extra backup version. Then only it will allow to backup. So these are the just example. I shared the screenshot. Just you can take a backup. So once that backup is available, just we can use the backup to restore the server. It will allow us to restore the backup only on the server where we took the backup. So these are the some useful links. The PMM demo link where you can try the PMM and its dashboards. And this is a PMM documentation, and this is our Percona community forum. If there is any questions related to PMM or any other open source our softwares, you can post your questions. Our expert will answer you. Do you have any more questions? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good day.